What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wellness Week Live. Another one. So this is Mommy Mondays, where we talk to our resident mommy, Steph. And I'm your host, DJ Anthony. And seriously, I'm a DJ. I know it doesn't seem like that. But okay, so how's it going? Steph, thank you for being a trooper. I know you got your hot toddy with the ginger and the lemon and the...
I know, my emergency.
What's in that thing?
Emergency. It's like vitamin C and D and zinc and...
Yeah, I love emergency.
All that good stuff. Yeah, we definitely we have a little bit of sickness in the house, so...
All right, yeah. I blame your husband.
I do too. Your best boy got me sick.
My man's. Come on. He's a saint. That guy. Okay, he's an angel. He's an angel.
That's what I call him every day.
That's right. With the other adjectives attached to that, right? So, by the way, not to get onto this, but I didn't know that actually eggs are a good immune booster too. A lot of vitamins and minerals, and I'm not saying eat 10 eggs, but I try to incorporate eggs into my diet at least two times a week. So read up on eggs. I mean, eggs are an amazing immune booster. I got your B vitamins, your C vitamins, your micronutrients, your all this stuff. But so I'm a big fan of eggs. I know, and emergency also. I know you're on the emergency there.
Yes.
Anyways, so okay. So today's topics. I'm not echoing, am I? Steph?
No, you're fine here.
I want to make sure that I run the most professional operation here at Wellness.
You are
distinguished. With the shirt like this, we're not serious. I'm not serious. Okay.
I complimented you on that earlier.
That's right. It's a tablecloth, essentially. I'm a loser. What do you want me to tell you? All right. So, so the topics today, and we might not have enough time to talk about all of them because they're pretty important, but as they always are. Pot. Dun, dun, dun. I'm not talking about your cooking pot. I'm talking about Mary Jane, marijuana. Second, should we be giving our children participation awards just for showing up? And third, advice for new mommies. I have some friends that just became new mommies for the first time. And so I was like, what would I say if I were a mom? Which I'm not, but you're an experienced mom. So what advice can we give new mommies out there? But okay, so the first one, marijuana, pot. Everybody is, losing their about this because it's basically legal, and you know this because if you go into any major city, even like a Hoboken or anywhere, it's just the ganja is out, folks. I mean, it's, everyone's sparking up the L's. So, and I said to myself, well, as parents, I don't know, and this is just an opinion, we're sharing our opinions, it's just conversation. We're not giving any medical advice or legal advice. You do you for your family, folks, and your life. But what should we as a collective, I don't know, how should parents, if parents should, how do we talk to our kids about pot, and drugs, alcohol included in that? So, we're parents. I'm a coach. I coach young kids, and I have a unique angle on this too because I own an entertainment business. So I'm in the nightlife, and I see and hear a lot of stuff. So, but how do we talk to our kids about this? What say you, Steph? Especially because pot is front and center now. It's legal. So it's a big jump from our country's. It's always been illegal. I don't know. Pot. Talking to kids. Take it away, Steph.
I think so. Kids are talking about it, and they're talking about it pretty openly.
Yeah.
Because
among other types of drugs too, not just.
Yeah. Because things have changed. But I think more than talk to the kids, it's listening to the kids and letting them come to you. Like I know in my own experience anyway, when I want to talk, not necessarily the time when the kids want to talk.
Right.
When they want to talk, not necessarily always the most convenient time for me. But those are the most important times to put your own things to the side and let them say what they have to say. Because when you start talking, they kind of turn off. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
But when they're ready to talk, they're ready to talk. So definitely listen, but set the expectations too. let them know how you feel about it.
Okay. So let me ask you this.
Mm.
You said when they're ready to talk, I don't know, I'm playing devil's advocate. Maybe when they're ready to talk, it's too late. Like maybe they're deep into whatever, abusive beer even, we're going to touch on that. I think when we talk about drugs, as a collective, as a society, we think, methamphetamine, heroin, which is part of the drug family. But what about beer? I've been to funerals, multiple funerals, where the person died of beer. Simple.
Yeah.
But we don't, when we think about the drug talk, I think we think as parents as like, we're going to talk about cocaine and pot, but what about beer? So my point is, when you say they're ready to talk, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, they may be too far into their beer problem, or their pot problem, or their cocaine problem. I don't know. I think maybe you would agree, kind of like the sex talk.
Yeah.
The drug talk is really more important because, I would say so. Maybe we should have that drug talk with our kids at 11 or 12 years old. Not to say that they're doing it then, but better to nip it in the bud. So what do you think about that comment?
Yeah, I mean, I have that dialogue with my daughter a lot. And I think too, when you're a mother of a girl, especially, Anthony, to your point, especially with alcohol, because that's really, to me, the gateway drug.
I
I
would
think
agree.
I think a lot of times it starts off with alcohol and then it escalates to
Oh,
all those other things, right?
yeah. You've never met a heroin addict that said, "No, I just started with heroin." No, they start with beer, you moron, and then they move on to pot to coke. For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Duh.
Yeah. So the entry level is, you start off with like beer and wine or wine
Right.
coolers, or whatever the stuff
Right.
is. I don't know if there are wine coolers anymore, but
1990s called. They want their
that's
coolers
it.
back.
They
Bartles
want
and
their hair
James,
back
baby.
too.
Bartles and James.
But yeah, you start off with that, and then the kids they experiment with more and stuff like that. So one of the things I talk to my daughter about, and again, it's about safety as well as not wanting them to be drunk. But you don't want your child to be in a position where um, they're
Compromised.
vulnerable, and then there's guys around, and then bad things can happen. So we have that conversation, and we have that conversation a lot. And I don't know, as the parent of a male, if I would have
The same conversation.
yeah, I do think the conversation is different.
Yeah. There's overlappings, of course. You don't want
Yeah,
you don't want your kid to be addicted to anything, and you don't want your kid going to jail. But right, let's be honest. A young woman, could a man be raped when they're
of
drunk?
course.
Sure, but we know that overwhelmingly it's going to be the young women who have that burden or that worry more so than a man.
Yeah, so I do have that conversation with her, and I think it's important to talk to our kids about all of these things as early as we can. And fourth and fifth grade, I think, are the appropriate times to start introducing
Yeah,
those topics.
can't hurt to have that conversation. Yeah.
But I do think that it's important as parents, because sometimes we get so busy, right? Like we're running all the time, we're working, we're doing all kinds of things, and we're doing everything for everybody else. But one of the things that we sometimes forget to do is stop and listen to our kids when we're busy.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes the time when they really need to talk to us the most, or when they're ready to talk to us the most.
Or stop and watch your kids, because a lot of times they
Yeah.
might not say they're having a problem, but you see odd things like, that's odd. They're more lethargic than usual. Maybe it's just a thyroid condition, or maybe they're on some kind of drug that not my kid, not famous last words. I mean, so
Yeah.
I would say, listen, but also watch, and don't assume, not my child. Oh, he reads the Bible. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume, just to err on the side of caution, I would assume that at some point, right, your child is going to experiment with something like,
the odds are not
yeah,
every kid, but the odds are,
with
I would say
something.
probably 80% chance your kid will experiment with a drug, beer included.
Yes.
And I've been to funerals just because of beer. So
Yeah. So I think, I think just to assume, and you can have the best kid out there, right? But at some point, impressing your parents becomes less important
Oh,
than impressing your peers and hanging out with your
100%.
peers and being accepted by your peers. It takes the back seat.
And it could be even inverse. I know people that have parents that are addicted to drugs and alcohol, and to piss their parents off, they did not drink and do drugs. So kids are weird like that,
Yeah.
like it's such a you try to stack the odds to help as much as possible, but here's the scary thing. As you know, your kids are human. They have free will, and you just hope and pray you teach them, you show them the right way, but things can, they're going to make their own choices too. And you can only shelter them and cloister them for so long.
Yeah.
And
they're curious by nature, right? Like we're curious.
We're human, of course. Like it's as old as time, the story of Adam and Eve, the temptation. The apple is a representation of don't do this, but again, it's a weird thing because I have friends, and you probably know friends too. It's like they did the opposite of their parents. Oh, my parents were addicted. I never touched it. I don't know. I'm not saying do drugs so your kids don't, but it's a weird, but to your point, right? Have open conversation, pay attention. And it's not, I don't think one conversation. I think it's a continuum of conversations over the years, and I think parents, don't beat yourself up. We're not professionals. We're parents, and we mess up, and we get back up, we dust ourselves off and try again. We're not perfect, only God's perfect. But, so, right. So that conversation, so, I'll say this too. So I kind of touched on, as you know, I'm in the entertainment business. And, so I've never done a drug in my life. I've never, furthermore, I've never been drunk or even buzzed. And I'm a professional DJ. It says it right there. See? But yeah, I mean, I could have any drug I want whenever I want it. It's that prevalent around me in the entertainment business, being a DJ. So I'm proud to say I don't touch it. Never did. I don't plan on doing drugs, and I never have. And like I said, I don't drink, and I never been drunk or even buzzed. And I say that because, not to say, well, look at me, I'm pontificating. But what I'm about to say is, I think I take a unique angle on this. I think that if you are addicted to drugs, you need help. You don't need jail. I think.
Agree.
I'm glad pot's legal. Spark it up, dude. I don't, like I said, I don't do drugs, but I think to have people sitting in jail for 30 years because they got caught with, joints, I mean, it's just not right. They need help, they don't need jail. But I would say we should talk to our kids like, hey, Jane and John, what is the ideal situation for you? You're 13, 14, 15, 16. What do you want to do with your life? Yeah, I want to be a billionaire. I want to be famous. I want to be an athlete. I want to be an astronaut, a doctor, a lawyer. I want to be rich and famous. Then ask yourself, does smoking pot, drinking beer, doing coke, etc., does that help your chances or hurt your chances of getting that goal of being rich and famous and accomplished and known? The answer is it doesn't help you. Being on the couch eating 10 bags of Doritos because you got the munchies ain't helping you achieve your goal. While you're vegging out high as a kite, the other person is going for theirs, and they're out there hustling, getting it, while you're not. So, if you need to, that's what I would tell a kid. If you need to unwind, and you need, you're stressed or you have mind health issues, then you need to get the proper help you need. But drugs is not where it's at. Beer is not where it's at. And I think I drink beer. I drink wine. It's been in front of me. I come from an Italian family since I was 3, which is kind of ironic too, because I've always drank wine as a child, but it was never a temptation because it was there. It's the Italian way, so it was never, I think that's part of it too, which probably saved my life, is that, when my friends are like, oh, dude, we're going to drink. I'm like, bro, I've been drinking since I was 3, man. Like, it's nothing. Like, and I think I got lucky that way. And I also wanted to share a story without getting into too much detail, which saved my life, I think, in a way. Many, many years ago, in the late 70s, early 80s, I lost a family member to drugs and an accident, drunk driving, drugs. And I remember as a young child going to that funeral, and it just stamped my mind. Like,
Yeah.
From that moment on, like, I was like, I hate drugs. I was like 7 or 8 years old, but I remember it like crystal clear. And that just stamped me in the mind. I said, like as a young child, I just like, whoa, like we just lost a family member who was young, vibrant, had so much going for them, gone. And that just put it in my brain, tattooed it in my mind, like drugs are evil. Not the person's not evil, but the drugs are evil, and so I don't know. Maybe if I didn't go to that funeral, maybe if I didn't have the exposure to, table wine, like things like that, who knows? Maybe I would have taken a different path and tried drugs and got into stuff. I don't know. But that funeral really was a pivotal moment in my life when I think about, drug use and stuff. And I think about my family member, I was just like, whoa, and it made me hate everything about alcohol and drugs. I'm surprised I didn't become a DEA agent, but but anyways, yeah. So, but I see this, and kids watching this might think, "Oh, you're an old man. Shut up. You don't know how it is today, dude." I'm like, I remind you, it says DJ Anthony. Okay, I literally I DJ thousands and thousands of parts. Seen it, I see it every week. Okay, so it's not, you don't have to do drugs, and if you feel like you I think people do drugs for two reasons. The big one is they're escaping from something, like stress, hurt, pain. And I think the other reason is, which is kind of an escape too, they do it for fun or curiosity.
Yes. And to fit in.
Right. Correct. And peer pressure of sorts. But I think basically it comes down to it's an escape of something, and we never think as humans that's going to happen to me. I'm not going to get into a car accident. I'm not going to have the heart attack. I'm not going to have cancer. I'm not going to have the addiction problem. I'm not going to have, but my thing is, again, how important is your life to a young person? I would say, how important it is for you to achieve your goals of becoming that rich and famous person, that doctor, that engineer. How important is it for you to find love and have a good life? How important is it? And if that kid says it's important, then I would remind them, well, then you can't have beer, pot, coke, crack, heroin cannot be part of a conversation. And I think that what I just said has to be a reoccurring conversation with our kids, not just a one time. It's not, I talk to the kid and tell them don't do drugs. I said it once, that's enough. And I would also say, Steph, I think it's incumbent upon us as parents, to exhibit that. Like, I always saw the table wine on the table with an Italian family, but I saw responsible drinking. I saw a healthy respect for the power of wine, the power of beer, the power of those things, and so now pot is legal. I think it's, my opinion, it's incumbent upon parents to exhibit what is healthy use, of again, drinking beer or wine or whatever. So I was grateful to have that in my life too. My parents were not like in the couch. No, but it's sad. It's not funny. I joke, but when a kid sees that, I don't know, is that, so I think parents, instead of just doing this, talk is important, but also showing, that, okay,
yeah, absolutely.
My mother, they had a glass of wine. That's it. That I thank my parents for that, that they exhibited that without even knowing, like they just showed healthy way of enjoying some wine or some beer, but they didn't have the beer vault in the house or something like that, and again, it's, you have to do it, is everyone has to do what they think is right for their families. But and I have a healthy respect for beer and wine, and now it's pot. It's something that should be taken very, very seriously and not used kind of cavalierly, like it's nothing. It is something. It's powerful stuff. Even I see beers like that too. I think beer is a very powerful thing. I enjoy a glass of beer, but I know, like, I have a respect for that beer. It's like, this is not water, so, but anyways.
Right. I mean, I think, you're right about all of that, but I do think, like, when you're a teenager, that healthy respect is not there yet.
Oh yeah, you're bulletproof.
It's all impulse behavior.
You're 100%. That's where parenting comes in. And I say parenting meaning whoever's raising you, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles. It takes the village, right. Of course, your kids are impulsive.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely think have the conversation and have it often, but, you have to, you have to give yourself a break sometimes too, because you have to know that when you set them out on their own, because you can't keep them under your thumb all the time, you're giving them the best tools that you can.
You hope and pray.
And then, yeah, and then you kind of have to hope that they're and assume that they're going to try something at some point, but maybe, they get it out of their system once, or, whatever it is, and maybe that's it. But if you see signs, or if you feel like you need help, you really should reach out, because
You mean
there's
the kids should reach out?
As a parent, you
Oh, the
should
parent.
reach out for
Right,
help
because the
for
kid's
your
not going to reach out.
children.
The kid's
They're
not
never
gonna,
gonna.
yeah,
No,
they're going to suck it up and suffer.
no,
Because that's
no.
what we all have been kids, and right,
Yeah,
have sucked it up and suffered, and whether it's drugs or relationships, or kids are the kids, like you said, they're not going to be like, "Hey, mom, I'd like to have a
yeah.
conversation with you. I'm having a hard time with my coke habit." You know,
Yeah. But as a parent, if you notice that something's off and you just can't put your finger on it, and you just have that bad feeling, I think there's no harm in saying, I need a little help.
but there's embarrassment though. Parents, this. I know this. Like, it's embarrassing, not for all parents, but for most, to say, again, going back to even personal struggles of whatever. I'm having a problem with finances or my relationship. It's hard to say I need help, and especially my family needs help. Let's go see a therapist. Let's go talk to a priest, a rabbi, an imam. Are you kidding me? The shame of, like, my child is suffering from alcoholism because it's a scarlet letter on the whole family. Oh, what did you do wrong as a bad parent? And it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. But that shame it takes and I think a lot of parents do this one, like, no problem here. It's just something like, I get it. It's embarrassing though, to say we
It is.
need help.
It is embarrassing.
It's not only the child, it's the family, because it's a team effort, even though the mom or dad might not be addicted or have any problems. But when the son or the daughter or whoever, the niece, the nephew is suffering, it reflects back on us, the parents. Just like, oh, my kid went to Harvard. Oh, you like that, right? Well, the negative also reflects on us too. It takes that village. Yeah. But it's hard. So I don't even know what to tell parents on that one. Like, if you suspect, a drug problem, you got to dig in deep and try to get that help, before it's too late, and
that's exactly what it is. It's before it's too late. So, I mean, especially when your kids are teens, right? Like, you only have a small window of time where you're still really parenting, because in a few short years they are off on their own.
Right.
They're going to college, or now they're working full-time jobs, or whatever it is they're doing. Now they're out of your hands. So you really have a very small opportunity there.
And I think that's where it's at. From 1 year old to about 15 is when you got your best shot. After that, the ship has sailed. That kid's going to do what they want to do, and
And I don't think at 15 give up.
No, don't give up. Right. You might have to have that conversation when they're 30. I don't know. Yeah, right. But I'm saying the formative years.
Yeah. So have the conversation. But if at 15 or 16 you see that there's a struggle, going on, and I know it is embarrassing, and you don't have to broadcast it to the world. You can take your family and go seek therapy and not tell anybody about it. That can kind of be your family thing. But the beautiful part about, having this kind of conversation, Anthony, is putting it out there and saying we all struggle.
I was apprehensive about doing this show on pot. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm me, I'm pretty open. I'm not somebody that's, I'm not somebody that's embarrassed. Look at the shirt I'm wearing, but it's, versus what? Like, and we're talking about death. What about your kid having a problem for their whole life? They're addicted to beer. They have a wine problem, alcoholism. They have a marijuana problem or a coke problem, and they they struggle till they're 100. I mean, that's also a type of death. Again, we love our kids, our family, our friends that are addicted. They need love. They need support. They need us to be. It's not easy. It's a whole thing that is it affects everyone in that team, in that community, so we have to stand by them, not ostracize them, not look down
Yeah.
on them. I used to look down on people who did drugs, because and then you grow up and then you go through some crap and then you're like, oh, wow, like these are our brothers, our sisters, our friends. You and I have been to friends' funerals
Oh God, yeah.
because of drugs.
Many of them.
Right. I have a laundry list, and it's just like, damn, so they're not bad people. They're not doing something that's bad. We need to be there for them. Just like if we had a problem, if we broke an arm or had, God forbid, a disease, cancer or COVID or whatever, people are there for us. We're there for them. And that's how it should be seen. And but I'm happy that pot is legal. I don't think people should be sitting in a jail cell.
No.
They should be sitting in a therapist's office, but yeah. And I think we need to tell our kids like, hey, mom and dad or the parents or the family, we love you no matter what. If you get caught up in drugs, God forbid, we're here for you. I want to help you. I'm not saying you do drugs, Johnny or Jane, but we love you. Like, just get ahead of it. Let them know that, because I think there's also a shame. Like, they know that they shouldn't be doing drugs, and they're right, they shouldn't be. But you see it too. I would be more concerned actually with beer addiction, because beer and wine, it's so celebrated,
Oh yeah.
Billboards, on blimps, commercials, and forget about it. I mean, like, I think that's really where you got to nip it in the bud, right at the beer, and say, look, this is something we enjoy, but it's to be respected. It's not to be used cavalierly and loosely, and just and you lead by example, and you hope that'll work. It's trying to stack the odds. Nothing is a guarantee, but
yeah.
Anything else before I move on?
Because
we only got a couple minutes. By the way, if you got to go, I respect your time. We'll actually, we could just end it because it's almost a half hour coming up. But if you have a minute or two extra, I want to respect you, Steph. I respect you, Steph.
I'm okay. I'm good on time. But the only other thing I would add is give your kids an out. Let them know that if they do run into trouble out there and they're with their friends and they need to, have a ride home or, whatever it is, let them know that whatever situation they're in, they can call you, they can reach out to you, and you'll pick them up, and there's no questions asked at that time. Have the conversation the next day. Just let them know that, you're always their safe place. If they mess up, that you're there. And then, have the conversation after the fact. So, and that's one of the things that I tell my daughter too, like, if you find yourself in a bad spot, call me, I'll come get you, and we can talk about, whatever it is the following day. Just,
yeah, fair
give
enough.
them an out.
Yeah. And I think, to anybody who would say, oh, well, Stephanie is just trying to be the kid's friend, be the parent. We're not saying that. We're saying be friendly with your kid, but be the parent. Right. To your point, hey, honey, dad, mom, we love you. We'll pick you up. Right. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We got you back no matter what. We're not going to be happy with you, but we love you.
Yes. And it doesn't even mean that they have to be drunk. They could just find themselves at a party where everyone is drunk, or either situation.
Yeah. Send me an Uber, mom and dad, or hey, pick me. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, it's weird too, because there's peer pressure, but not peer pressure like I think some of these commercials used to do in the 80s. Hey, dude, try some pot. I just say no. That's not the type of peer pressure that happens, you fools. It's more just no one even offers it to you sometimes. You're just there. The drug is there. You feel peer pressure on yourself. It's not that someone's like, come on, dude, take it. That doesn't happen. Trust me. I DJ for a living. I'm around it all the time. Like, it's there. You feel like I should do it, or like I should drink because I don't want to have empty hands, or I'm going to feel like a loser that I'm holding a seltzer and not a beer, which yours truly does. I hold seltzers and people make fun of me all the time. And then I go into my comedy routine. I roast them, but it's just like, but I get it, because I also feel weird sometimes just like holding a soda or seltzer. So I get that, so it's not peer pressure like, come on, dude, everyone's doing it. Like, it's not that. It's more, if anything, I think kids put peer pressure on themselves, like, everyone's holding the red cup. I should hold, I don't know. I should, whatever.
I mean, when I started smoking, I was in, I guess it was high school, maybe 7th grade. And and it was nobody offered it to me.
Right.
I saw one of my friends was smoking, and I thought it looked so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she pulled the cigarette pack out of her purse.
That does look cool. I'm gonna 100%.
It.
What's his name? James Dean with the cigarette on the.
Yeah.
I had an uncle like that. He would roll the Parliaments up into the sleeve. I'm like, yo, man, had the cigarette here. I was like, that's my guy right there.
Yeah. Now, to me, as a young person, I was like, wow, that looks so cool. That looks so grown up, so sophisticated. I want to look like that. Meanwhile, now when I look back at pictures of me smoking, I look like an ass. Right?
This is where,
But at the time, I thought that was fantastic. Like, I thought, yeah, I did.
Fantastic.
I was like, this is the best.
By the way, though, cigarettes smell good. I love the smell of cigarettes, and I've never touched a cigarette or drug in my life. But I gotta say, like, I walk past some of these parties I'm DJing, I'm like, bro, that Marlboro smells good, dude. Like, I like the smell of that gasoline, trash in Seaside Heights, New Jersey in the summer. It's all bad.
And see, now I'm the opposite. Now when I smell a cigarette, I'm like, oh, I could throw up. Yeah, but no, yeah, for a long time, I just thought that was the best. And if I could walk into a party and light up a cigarette, it didn't matter then that, I didn't have to do a drug. I didn't have to drink anything. I had my cigarette. So right there, I was cool.
Yeah.
Or so I thought. But that was hard to kick. That was a hard
it's harder to kick than heroin.
I can't speak to that, but I can
say that's I mean, that's what you hear. I don't know either, but yeah, nicotine's no joke. And the companies that make that garbage, of course they're going to add whatever is in there to hook you. Like, But,
and then my stupid, self, I had quit for like 4 years.
You're like, I have a great idea. I'm going to go right back into that. Here's an idea.
And then I was dating somebody who was smoking, and I was like, maybe I can just take one drag, one puff.
It's cash.
Yeah, I'll have one cigarette, and that's fine. I kind of miss it, whatever. Right back to smoking, and then I have to quit all over again.
It's tough, right? The withdrawals and
Yes.
Listen, I can understand that, because for Lent one year I gave up coffee. I thought it was gonna be a cakewalk because I'm a pretty disciplined dude. So I was like, bro, I'll give up coffee, ain't nothing, man. Basically, like hour 2, I was like, it was hard for 30 something days or whatever it was. I was like, dude, if this is anything like quitting cigarettes or coke or crack or heroin, god damn, this is insane. Like, I was in a bad place quick. And so I have a little bit of an appreciation for anybody that's trying to kick cigarettes or beer or wine or pot.
Anything, yeah.
My God. I mean, I made it through. I did it. But hour 2, I thought it was going to be like, I'll probably have some withdrawals like 2 weeks in. It was 2 hours in. I was like, anyways. And I would also tell kids, high schoolers, you could still be cool and not do drugs and not drink. I can tell you, this. I was top of the food chain in high school, homecoming king, captain of track and field, most popular, still am. But, and I DJ for a living. I'm not some has-been. I'm still at these parties and, corporate stuff and proms and whatever, weddings and whatever. You could still be popular. I didn't miss a party, but I just didn't do stuff. And my friends were cool with that. They were like, all right, don't offer it, like whatever, so you don't have to be but know thyself. I know that I can be in those environments. It doesn't bother me. I don't get tempted like that. But if you're someone, know thyself, if you know that, you kind of like, you're curious and you might want to, or you like doing drugs, or you like drinking, you know what? Don't go to that party. Don't put yourself in that position. Again, teenagers have to be taught this or learn. This is where parenting and guidance comes in from everybody, teachers, coaches, parents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, but that would be my advice too. If you are somebody, you don't have to do that. You don't have to you can still go out and have a good time at those parties. I mean, don't be hanging out if people are doing lines like, excuse me, I'm going to be outside, but you know what I mean? But yeah, it's again, and don't hate your friends if they're doing drugs. They need help. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
It's a fine line. I used to demonize my friends and colleagues that did that. Like, they're bad people. They're not bad people. They have a problem, or they're going to have a problem. And, I don't preach to them either, but just don't talk about it. Be about it. Like, I'm the guy that doesn't do it. If you want to hang out with me, just know we ain't doing that tonight. Like, that's not me. That's not how I roll. You don't have to talk about it. Just people know who people are, And, anyways, but and there's I think a lot of people, actually, by the way, not every high schooler does drugs, by the way, because everyone says, everybody does it. We kind of started with this in the beginning. Yeah, most people will try, but not all. And it's not there are a lot of people who are cool, who are popular, who just don't do it. But you're just not going to hear it because you have to see. They don't do it. But anyways, it's a tough conversation to have, and it's a conversation that's needed over and over again, and it's by action also. And again, we need to treat it as a health problem, not an evil, bad person problem or crime. It's something that it's serious.
And you never know what will flip the switch for somebody. Everybody's different, right? So, I could have a drink of, I can have a beer or I can have wine, and it doesn't necessarily affect me in the same way that it affects somebody else. Somebody else can have beer or wine and get hooked right away.
100%. And that's the danger. That's why you don't get that handbook. You're taking that risk. And is it worth it, as a young person? So, and again, I'm not saying don't drink beer or wine. I drink beer and wine too. I'm not saying that, but it has to be respected. It has to be, the power of alcohol has to be revered.
Right. And that comes with maturity too, Anthony, I think, because, as adults, we know we can enjoy this beer for this beer, right? We don't have to get buzzed or drunk or messed up.
Even adults are not mature, though, Steph. Some adults need to. I don't know, and I don't know what the answer is overall. We're just having a conversation. What the hell do I know about anything? I don't know. Whatever. But go ahead.
But most kids don't have that maturity. For most kids, the end goal is they do want to get buzzed, or they do want to get drunk. They want to, they want that feeling.
Right.
So,
and they can't blame them. I mean, from what I hear, it feels good. I get it.
That's the end result. So it's not enjoying it responsibly that they want to do. They want to enjoy it recreationally, and they want to indulge. So I think that's where the, that fine line is, or that's where the conversation needs to go is, when you do go the extra mile and you do, get drunk, or you do get high, how is it going to benefit you? How is it going to hurt you? How is it going to hurt your friends? How is it going to hurt your family? All of those things have to, I think, come into play. Right. But it's an ongoing, like you said, it's a conversation that you have to have over and over,
weekly or monthly. Right. It can't be the one time, just like the sex talk can't be one time, or the money talk can't be one time, or the nutrition talk can't be one time. It's a lifestyle. It's a continuum.
And if you mess up once, it's okay. You don't have to mess up again.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Again, like we were saying, if God forbid your kid did some pot, or got buzzed or drunk, or even worse, tried something harder. Right. It's we love you. Let's work together. It's a team effort. It's not you against us. It's anything else? We're not going to move on to the other topics because we're already pushing past. We're on 40 minutes, so I want to respect your time. But was there anything else you wanted to add? We'll have to do the because it's a good topic. The other two topics were, should kids get participation awards, which I know is a hot topic. Even I was like, but I have an interesting angle on this. But we'll talk about it another week. But anyways, and then the mommy advice for new moms. But was there anything else, Steph? Because I know I've been accused of some people tell me, Anthony, you talk too much. Shut up. Let Steph talk. Okay. And we know the person, by the way. He's a mutual friend of ours. I'm not going to say his last name, but it's Ed. Ed told me in a nice way to shut up.
I don't know if I
know Ed.
I know Ed. Okay.
You know Ed.
You'll tell me the person later.
You're going to be like, oh, duh. Anyway, It told me to shut up in a nice way.
Aw, honey, I like listening to you talk.
And yeah, he let me down easy. I'm like, Ed, are you telling me to shut the F up? Is that what you? Okay. So now I have a complex. Go ahead, Steph. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. I think, I mean, obviously.
You feel I let you speak?
Wow, that was loud. I think, it's a conversation we can have again, somewhere down the road.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I think this was good for today, for sure.
You feel that you got everything out?
I think I did.
Okay, because when I hang up this conversation, I don't want to wonder, did I give her enough time? Did she get everything out? Because they call me King Interruptus.
I just want to look at that suit a little bit more. It's really spectacular. I'm not going to lie to you.
My brother gave this to me for, I guess, a Christmas a year or two. I know it's a tablecloth. I just, it's fits well, but I would never wear this outside.
Why not? I like it.
Well, you know what? Maybe I should, because I probably get some sympathy. People would probably be like, "Oh, poor guy. Here's $5. Go get yourself a sandwich." Yeah. I do. As you know, I do wear wacky stuff like the mac and cheese sweater, but I wear for work for DJing. But when I do, like, if I stop at a local like Quick Mart or 7-Eleven, like people will be like, "Bravo, hey, how you doing?" Like I'm like, "Oh, this is very disarming." Like people love it. Like,
I say you walk out in that suit, you pick up a few ladies.
Yeah, sympathy vote, right? Can I feed you? You poor bastard. Why are you wearing that? Yeah. It'll be sympathy votes. It won't be anything like, oh, look at you. No. Yeah, maybe I should. I don't know. But
it's really cute.
The problem is it's got I thought this was a lemon. It's a pizza pie. Because I was like, why is there lemons with pizza?
Oh, I thought it was a lemon too.
No, it's all about pizza. Oh, now I get it. Mind blown. Okay. I see what you did. Okay. So anyway, all right, Steph, I love you. You're Mommy Mondays. You're Mommy Mondays.
I love you.
You know what I'm worried about? If this channel takes off and like I get like some deal for like $100 billion, I'm like, damn it, man. I got to incorporate Steph into this now. I got to share the money with Steph. I got to. All right.
That's the stakes.
Well, listen. Rising tides lift all boats.
Very, very deep.
I mean, come on.
Very philosophical of you.
Right. See, I learned that. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. So a happy New Year to everyone. We didn't even go on that. And happy New Year's. Hope everyone has a healthy and awesome New Year. We have awesome shows coming up. And, so, yeah, that's it. But, Steph, I appreciate you as always.
I appreciate you.
Big shout out to all the moms out there. Big shout out to all the dads out there, all the grandparents, the coaches, the teachers. It takes a village to raise a child. And I'm so appreciative of my parents and my community, my coaches, my mentors and everything. It really, really is a group effort. It takes a village to raise.
It does.
So yeah, appreciative. Thank you, Steph.
Thank you.
You're a great mom, by the way.
You're a great dad, and you're a great person, and you're a great DJ.
Keep going. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Trying to lift that boat.
That's right. All right, Steph. So everyone, I'm ending this broadcast in 3, 2, 1. Bye.